In this video we're going to talk about how Plait makes use of location. The left hand 70% of the screen is the Plait back office system running on a desktop browser, and the right hand 30% of the screen is the mobile system also running on a desktop browser, faking how it will look on a mobile. So let's turn our attention first of all to what happens when you enter a client on the system. You put the address in, and automatically when you save the address, when you save the record, the system gets hold of the address and sends it to a geocoding service which works out where it thinks it is on the globe. And you can find out where the geocoding service thinks the address is on the globe by clicking on this button here, the map button, and it opens a new window putting a pin where it thinks the location is. Now, sometimes that's accurate enough, but if you've got care workers who need to find the place and are going to use the map on the mobile, so this thing here gives you a map of where the location is, and this thing here gives you driving instructions. You want that to be, to the right house, not the house 3 doors down. So we need to have a way of changing that, and that's a recent amendment. And we do that using this button here, which is the What 3 Words button. So What 3 Words is a service that's becoming sort of fairly well used now by everyone, including the emergency services, to locate something to within a 3 metre square on the surface of the globe. So we'll have a look here at where What 3 Words thinks we are, and it says the geocoding software we use has placed this address at submerge.rugs.spins. So this is a What 3 Words location. If this is incorrect, enter the new value here, and then some stuff which we'll come back to. So if I click on this submerge.rugs.spins, it'll open the What 3 Words site, showing us where it thinks the location is. Now let's say it was a little bit out and the actual location was here, and you can see that we can locate our square to exactly which part of the building the front door is at, or the back door if required. So let's say that we require the care worker to enter by the back door, and the back door we know is here. Then we can click on that square there, and we can find that the What 3 Words location, the coordinates if you like, are sofas.scans.giant. We can copy those there, and we can go back to here and paste that, and then I will be able to save that, and that will update the Latin long for the client to that place. But before we do that, I just want to read this warning here. Note that the What 3 Words location will not update automatically if the address is changed, though it can be removed by clicking on the remove button below, which will make the system geocode the address again. So that's to say that if the What 3 Words location has been set up and the client moves, then you need to go and remove the What 3 Words location, because the What 3 Words location is taken as gospel. If you just use the geocoding and change the address, the system will go, the address has changed, I need to redo the geocoding. But when What 3 Words has been used, What 3 Words has to be changed. Okay, so I'm going to click on the OK button there. So one thing that you'll notice here is that the colour on the What 3 Words button has changed to red, which is their sort of corporate colour, and I've done that just to highlight that there is a geocoding override that's gone on here. So if you change the address and you see the 3 red bars, you need to go and change the What 3 Words. Okay, so I'm going to save that record now, and that will update the Latin long that the system uses to do its location. And now I'm going to log my care worker in on the mobile, and then bring up a booking for this client, and have a look at the map, and we'll see, if we drill down far enough, that our pin is now exactly where we put it using What 3 Words. Now, even if you're not using the mobile app for sort of point of care stuff, you might find it useful to have the addresses more accurately located using What 3 Words, because you can still pass that data on to care workers who may have What3Words app on their phone, or sometimes you can pass it on usefully to emergency services who would otherwise waste a few minutes finding your client. So the rest of this video only makes sense for people who are using the Plait app, mobile app, rather than any sort of third-party system that they might be using for point of care. And it hinges around, to a large extent, some new fields here on the point of care tab on the organisation setup. So the first one we'll look at is this one, which is actually last on the form. Assume client location accurate to. So there's some help there that explains what it's about, but basically there is no point in trying to do clever things with geolocation on the mobile if the location that you're trying to compare the client's position to is not itself accurate. So we need to have some idea of how accurately the client addresses are geolocated. And if you're using postcode in a rural area, it's probably no better than a kilometre. If you're using What3Words, it can be 3 metres. So the important thing is to be realistic about this figure here. Let's have a look at these other two new fields as well. This field here relates to a new feature that enables the Plait mobile app to send the daily visit log automatically, even if the care worker forgets to log out, which is something that does happen from time to time. And it will update the daily visit log when two things have happened. When the visit has run at least as long as was planned, plus 20%, so it leaves a little leeway there, and the care worker has moved away from the point at which they logged in by the distance specified here. So the combination of those two safeguards means that the care worker won't be caught out without having written the daily visit log if they happen to nip out to do some shopping in the last couple of minutes of the booking. So you put in some reasonable thing there, like 200 or 300 metres, and if the care worker forgets to log out, then while they're on their way to the next booking, the daily visit log is automatically sent. This field here allows you to say that the Plait mobile app will only work if the care worker allows it to use their location services. So much of the functionality that I'm about to demonstrate on the mobile depends on location services, but by default, if this box isn't checked, it'll work anyway without performing any of the checks that have been added. If you check this box and it cannot make those checks, it will assume that those checks are going to fail, and it will prevent the care worker doing what they're meant to do. So there'll be some safeguard for you that the care worker is present where they say they are. But if there is some problem, some genuine problem to do with, I don't know, GPS satellites falling out of the sky, or atmospheric conditions being such that GPS doesn't work or whatever, and they can't turn their location services off, then the app is going to say, oh, sorry, you're in the wrong place, you can't do your job. So that's a judgment call. But you can always disable this if you need to, if one of those unlikely scenarios does come to pass. So moving on to the changes for Plait Mobile, they're configured here in the allowed logging methods, and we're going to concentrate on the NFC one, which is the one I'm going to be using for the demonstration. And there's this new field here, geolocation, which has got 4 options. The first option, ignore, is like the old behaviour. The mobile app doesn't know anything about location, doesn't make any use of it, doesn't do any checks. The next one, it allows you to record the distance from the expected check-in where the actual check-in took place. So it doesn't stop the care worker from checking in from down the pub or whatever, people say has happened in the past. These tales, probably apocryphal, about care workers never actually attending visits. It won't be prevented, but if it happens, it'll be logged, and there will be a report saying the care worker checked in from 800 metres away or whatever. So let's have a quick look at how that works. So I've got a care visit planned. I'll just check into it. There we go, and then we'll go back and look at how that's appearing on the system. We'll have a look at the booking. We can see that Will has checked in, and we've got this new button here that tells us how far away from the expected location he was when he checked in. Now, my demo data is in Dorset and I live in East Sussex, so I checked into this booking from nearly 200 kilometres away, which is not usual. This information is also available on the compliance report, and we can see that there has been one remote login, and if we move further along we can see what the percentage of remote logins was as well. So this is something that you might want to monitor. I mean, it should probably be 0, but there will be times where the geolocation needs to be tidied up and that sort of thing. Anyway, you'll want to know more about why there was a remote login, so you can drill down and you'll see that within southern area there's only one care worker and he's got the remote login, not surprisingly, and we can drill down further and we can see, there's the remote check-in, and that was the distance, and that's as far as that report goes. So let's go back and have a look at the next option, which is the record check-in location. Okay, so I'll come out of my mobile. I'm just going to cancel that check-in. And go back to there. Gonna log back into the mobile app. And check into the booking. I will accept that. And we'll have a look at this booking now. And we'll see that nothing very much has changed from what you can see, but if I hover over here now, I've got in the title click to see where the carer was, and if I click on that it'll bring up a map showing me exactly where the carer was when they checked in. I'm just going to cancel that check-in. So the record check-in location is maybe a little bit Big Brotherish for some people. We'll have a look at the next option here, prevent check-in in excess of allowed radius. And what that does is it just basically kicks the carer out of the mobile app if they're thought to be trying to check in from somewhere where the booking is not meant to be taking place. So I'll just log in here, try and book into this booking, and I get an error message: you cannot check in from here, you appear to be too far from the visit location, call the office if you think this is wrong. I click OK and it dumps me out. So now our care worker has been logged out of the app. What they might try and do is to deny the app the location service permissions that it requires, and I've done that, and now I'm just going to log in again and see what happens. Remember that in the organisation setup we said that we were going to insist that the care worker enabled location services. You can't see this, but on my phone it's asking me whether I can allow Plait Mobile to access this device's location, and I'm going to say deny, and it comes back saying error. Your employer said that you have to. I OK that, and I get dumped out. So there is no way around that.